I've not listened to this. Let's listen to it together and see what it's about.
David, Jimmy from Philly, I'm sick and fucking tired of listening to your bullshit about unhinged Trump supporters and this and that. You're so full of shit. My hat's off to you. You can't withstand it, David. You got my information, motherfucker. Fuck your cappuccino. Fuck your cappuccino. Fuck your cappuccino. Information. Fuck your cappuccino. You're so full of shit.
Flippy from Indiana. Flippy from Indiana, please unmute. You are on the air, my friend.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, David, it's me. I just was wondering if you've ever reconsidered making an OnlyFans.
Sorry, if I've done making an omelet, what?
No, making an OnlyFans. Earnings season is over, and it's time for you to show us your zucchini.
That's very clever. No, listen. I think I'd be more likely. I'd be more likely to show my Granny Smith apples than any Zooks. Floppy Dukes.
Flippy floppy.
Floppy Dukes. Floppy Dukes.
Flippy floppy.
5 1/4 inches.
In the name of Jesus from South America, they're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here from Africa. Pika hata anda ata. I hear the sound of victory. Pika hata anda ata. I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of winning, winning, winning. Pika hata anda ata. Winning, winning, winning. Pika hata anda ata. Oh, la batarata ande eke eke ma.
All right, welcome everybody. We are standing by for a delayed White House press briefing with the press secretary, Jen Psaki, originally scheduled for 1 Eastern, moved to 2 Eastern. And that means that it should be anywhere. It could be as soon as 29 minutes, could be 4 hours, the way these things go. But we are going to be watching it, and I am expecting endless dumps of questions about the vaccine mandate. And it's all tyrannical and it's all terrible if you ask Fox and Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and Alex Jones and all of these people. But is it really a mandate? Is it really tyranny if you can just take a test once a week? I mean, like, is it even really mandatory if you can say, well, I'll just get a test once a week and then I don't have to get any vaccine at all? Now, there's actually an interesting thread. Let me see if I can find it. There's this reporter who used to be known as a left-wing reporter, Glenn Greenwald, and I don't really know how I would assess his political views at this point in time. He posted about, let me see here. Where was this? A retort about the vaccine being free. Let me see where it was. Vaccination. July 27th. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see if I just do a control F for free. Free. Freedom of speech. Maybe it was further back. Free. What's going on? Man, now I can't find it. There was so... Oh, hold on a second. You know what? I think it was in response to some... Oh, wait, hold on. What is Hassan's... Is it Hassan Piker? Oh, my God. What is Hassan's Twitter? Hassan responded, and then it went from there. Is it Hassan D. Piker? Nope, that's not it. Man, this is going nowhere. Does anybody know? Can anybody help me? Hassan the Sun. Okay. Ah, nope, that's someone else too. This is nobody. Oh, the Hun. I'm an idiot, not the Sun. There it is. Okay. All right. So let's see where it was. He tweeted about the vaccine being free in response to Glenn Greenwald. Where was it? There's going to be a big payoff here, guys. Don't worry. We're going to get to it. With replies. Ah, here it is. Okay, here we go. So, Glenn Greenwald made the point yesterday. The unvaccinated in America are overwhelmingly low income, which means any punitive measures against those refusing vaccinations, like loss of job, bar on entrance to public space or travel, will disproportionately fall on those who are most economically vulnerable. So, first of all, this ignores that maybe part of the reason why the lower your income, the less likely you are to get vaccinated, is that you're in jobs where you're not actually getting the paid time to go get the vaccine. So that's that's layer one. Okay. But then Glenn went on to say, the number of ignorant liberals responding to the data by pointing out the vaccine is free and believing they're making a clever point will shock you if you look, clearly referring to Hassan. Then saying they still, after all these months, don't understand why so many people are vaccine hesitant. A huge number of liberals absolutely believe non-liberals are stupid, primitive, ignorant, inferior, and amoral troglodytes, and most COVID discourse has more to do with that bigotry than it does with anything resembling science. But Hassan actually makes a good point here. They're vaccine hesitant, at least in part, because of contrarian grifters like you constantly spreading these sort of takes among others that straight up deny that the vaccine works. Perhaps you should ask Tucker next time you're on why so many people are hesitant to take the vaccine. I feel like I actually am unsure whether Greenwald really believes this stuff, or whether he's just kind of placating a particular segment of his audience, people who pay for his Substack and whatnot. I mean, I just don't know. But again, is it really a tyrannical mandate if you can just say, I'd rather take a test instead? And then I got a message from someone saying, well, eventually they're going to pass the cost of the test on to us as the employees. Okay, but you can get a free vaccine and get paid time off to go get it. So like what? I mean, it's just like we're going in circles here. It doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, I'm expecting a whole bunch of nasty questions, including from people like Peter Ducey, at this press briefing. So we're standing by for that. I have no unban requests for people asking about it. No unban requests. The people we've been banning lately really deserve it. I want to say thank you to some people that just signed up via Twitch and Twitch Prime and related Twitch elements. Lucan, Nick Lovin, The Font Peg signed up. Jen here gifted 2. Trisha Northstar signed up and is number 6. Mr. Browning is number 7 today. Hin Hunk is number 8. Rahenki is number 9. Cosmos84 is number 10 today. Zogheed. Oh, no, Zogheed was yesterday. So we're at 10. Because much of today's press briefing is vaccine related, today's coupon code on my website is MyHIPAA. You will get an ungodly discount for using that code at joinpacman.com, but you must be able to spell it correctly. Let's get into some super chats, and then I have other things to show you. Desiree DeWitt says via Super Chat, hi, David, huge fan. You're my favorite progressive commentator. I got my husband into you, too. Just married a couple of weeks ago. Please shout out my husband, Kev. Kev, with peace and love, congratulations. And I hope that you are now in wedded bliss, as the kids these days say. James Montalbano says simply, sir.
Sir.
Trash Queen says, thanks for doing a good job, David. I love your show. Thank you. Peppy says, can you help me get Halo Xbox bundle? Is that hard to get? Like, are there video game consoles and or games right now that are difficult to get from the standpoint of supply? I wouldn't even know that. Like, I just assume you go on Amazon, you buy it, and in one day it's there. There are. PS5 is hard to get. Wow. That's wild. That's interesting. Okay, let's see. GT0913 says, David, sir.
Sir, I think you're doing very well.
Is there a way we can get access to David Pakman Show songs from the standpoint of listening? Yeah, I keep thinking about like making a Spotify album or something, but then I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to do it. And it doesn't seem you can just upload to Spotify, and I'm kind of busy with stuff. So yeah, but I would be up for doing that. Thanks also to Horges Blorges and Mads for super chats with no message. Still love them. Horges now says, hi, David. I was wondering if you know of good resources for getting into political science or politics on an educational level in general, like to teach those subjects. I don't. That I don't know. Amandy Lynn says, I find it interesting that the same people who claim to be pro-life are the ones opposing getting the vaccine and wearing masks. Makes you think, doesn't it? Let's do a couple of videos. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a second. I'm missing some stuff here. Thanks to Kaladin for subscribing with Twitch Prime. That's all I'm missing. Thank you. Let's get to a couple of different videos I have. Here is Josh Mandel. This is maybe the least charismatic video I've ever seen. Also, the audio, like you can barely hear him because of the crickets. Check this out. But this is a guy who's very angry about the tyrannical Gestapo announcement of Joe Biden yesterday.
Hey guys, it's Thursday night, September 9th. I'm driving through Western Ohio. We're driving through a cornfield near a town called Loganville, Ohio. My blood is boiling, enraged at what I've seen from the White House today. Trampling on our freedom, trampling on our liberty, trampling on what I took an oath to defend when I joined the Marines.
It's like, dude, what are you even talking about? Could you imagine a less charismatic person? Mandel, Josh Mandel.
Supreme Court. Joe Biden, I'm not even going to call him President Biden. He's not. Joe Biden is creating a constitutional crisis. And as I was driving through this cornfield, I literally came across this sign, this Trump sign. He is my president.
Really? Because he's not the president. It's like, who is president has now become a statement of opinion. It's my view that Trump's president. Like, oh, really? Well, there's one president.
And I am hoping and praying that the Supreme Court justices that he appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court.
What are these red lights? Is there have the authorities shown up because it's illegal levels of cringe?
Will do the right thing and stand up for the Constitution, stand up for our freedom, stand up for our liberty.
Is he referring to if you don't want to get tested and work at a certain list of companies? I'm sorry, if you don't want to get vaccinated and work at a certain list of companies, you need to get a test once a week. Is that what he's referring to?
And if they don't, I call on my fellow Americans, do not comply. Do not comply with the tyranny. And when the Gestapo show up at your...
It's funny, when you have the choice not to comply with the tyranny, it might not really be tyranny, right? This guy just blew a 0.8 on the cringeometer.
Front door, you know what to do.
All right. Anyway, so that's that. That's Josh Mandel. He says that the president is not the president and that optional tyranny is tyranny. Yeah. He seems almost so low energy that he's boring himself. Exactly. I like that super chat from Matthew there. Here's another video. This is a Larry Elder ad. Now on, actually, this might be a good time to bring this up. I want to cover the California recall results on Tuesday. They're looking better and better for Gavin Newsom. Do people know at what time, Eastern or California, whatever, just we need to figure out what we're talking about. When will the results start coming in? Like, will there even be anything for me to stream on Tuesday night? Does anybody know? Because I would love to cover that if possible. We'll get to the Larry Elder ad in a moment here. Nobody knows. Good. 8 p.m. California. That's late. That's past my bedtime. I don't know if I can stream that. Not really any results on Tuesday. After 7 p.m. Guys, I said specifically, please include the time zone. 8 Pacific is when the results will come in. 8:15. That's going to be late. That's going to be late. I mean, maybe I'll reorganize my Wednesday around that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll take a look. We'll see. Anyway, here's a Larry Elder ad apparently targeting Generation Z. Imagine if this guy was governor.
Public school's getting worse. His kids, elite private school. Violent crime is up, but he has bodyguards.
Cost of living much higher. He's rich. Coffee shops closed for COVID.
While he dined at the most expensive restaurant, Wine Tab, 12 grand. He just raised the gas tax again. Homeless everywhere. He's in a mansion. It's clear now. It's not about...
I mean, listen, the governor gets a house. It's like saying there's homeless people and the president's living in the White House. Yeah, I mean, that's where the president lives. That's yeah. Where should that's how it's set up.
Political parties.
It's about incompetence.
It's about you, Gavin Newsom.
Recall Newsom. Bring us together. Yeah.
Okay. So that's an ad, I guess, trying to make a point. It has the energy of a school project. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and by the way, in all seriousness, if you live in California and you've not sent your ballot, fill out your ballot and send it in, please, folks. There's nothing to wait for at this point. Let's make really sure that Larry Elder does not become governor of California. It would be horrifying. All right, a few other super chats. Daniel says we'll know the results in California depending on when the vote dumps come in.
Big, massive dumps.
Exactly. And that could be, we don't know exactly what time that's going to be. We are standing by for Jen Psaki. Everybody relax. You have not missed it. It was rescheduled from 1 East to 2 East. So we are standing by for that. People saying they are not getting the My HIPAA coupon code working. I think it's working fine, guys. You just have to type it in correctly. Let's see if I can pull it up for you. Oh, is the website getting slammed with traffic? Is that what's going on? Oh, no, here it is. Okay. So you pick your poison, monthly or yearly. Okay, I think yearly is the better deal, but, you know, that's just, I like saving 18%. So it's My HIPAA, right, with 2 A's. And then when you click off, really powerfully drops, okay? That's a big drop. Big, big, big drop. It works fine. And then from the standpoint of monthly, you can get the same thing. My HIPAA, and that's your 180. Now, if you spell it with 2 P's, you will get an invalid coupon code, okay? You have to spell it correctly. You can't type it like the word hippo. You can't type it like giraffe. You can't type it like snake. It's got to be spelled with 2 A's, an absolute must, okay? And it'll work. I'm telling you, it'll work. Okay, about 15 minutes here. Let me play a couple of voicemails. We're still working through what are now 661 unread voicemails. Let's take a listen to a couple of them here.
Does anybody understand this caller? Period. Question mark. Hell no. What the fuck is this guy talking about? I mean, seriously. Like, you have to be gay.
This is a new caller. We've never heard from this caller before.
Or you have to be gay to get a shot? Where the fuck is this? He's on the fringe. The fucking fringe, lunatic, loony bin, bottom of the barrel.
All right, so that's a new caller. Interesting.
Hey, I think there's one thing that people really don't Talk enough.
I just can't do that. I can't do it with the rubbing. You know, it's like you're rubbing a staticky piece of cloth on the phone. You don't need to be microfibering the phone while we're talking. Okay. Jeez.
Hey, you still there?
This is a voicemail, sir. We're not talking to each other.
So, what kind of good time were you offering? Speak up. I can't hear you.
What the hell? These are like extra weird. Don't even know what's going on.
Hey, David, it's Eric from Mass. Just calling this. I want to see how honest you are. Call Pfizer and go on the line and ask if the FDA approved the vaccine.
Yeah, they did. I mean, what are you talking about? They did.
And I think you're going to be surprised. I already know the answer, so I'll know.
What would be surprising about that?
Whether you're honest or not, whether you put it up or not. I mean, I don't care either way, but I'm just letting you know. Kind of a big deal, kind of a big lie. The big lie, get it?
You're saying if I call Pfizer, they will admit to me, actually, the vaccine was not really approved? Is that the argument that's being made? I don't know.
Hi, David. This is Kathleen down here in Sanibel. I go as a Brave Wave. That way, sometimes people think I'm a guy. I love it. But that guy who called, I think with that creepy message, I think it's an insult. It could be just a drunk guy thinking that he's funny, but I wouldn't mess around with it.
Okay. I don't even know which guy she's referring to, because it's like we have so many insane callers that I actually don't know, like, which guy is that a reference to. All right.
Their first public appearance together ever, and I have to say that my brain is still in recovery mode from taking in so many high-level important ideas.
Oh, wow, Dave Rubin calling in. Okay, that's nice. Great to hear from him. Let's see what else we've got. We have a 5 voicemail screed from the drunk Chicago guy.
Drunk Chicago guy here. I didn't drink for like 6 or 7 days, and I didn't even smoke weed for the last 2 or 3 of them. Mm-hmm. I was going to call you because I wanted to hear how I sound. I wanted to hear how I sound when I'm not drinking, but it's too late. I found some money, and I never thought, at the beginning of this pandemic, I'm drinking Heineken and.
All right, number 2. Here we go.
No, I'm not going to keep calling. I got shit to do. I got to clean the bathroom, clean the kitchen. When I move out of the place, I want to make it look like the way it was when I moved in 4 years ago.
Yep, got to get that security deposit back.
But yeah. No, I forgot if I said it or not. I never really wanted to box Troy York. I think he just tries to ruffle some feathers,
All right, number 4.
No, David, I love what you do. And like I said, it just got weird. You know what I mean? Because
it was weird for me too. And then here's number 5.
Here I am. My magnifier, because I'm legally blind, ran out. It just burnt out. So here I am calling you, and it's just bullshit. I'm so sorry.
Yep. All right, we're moving on. Thank you. Appreciate that. I do want to thank a few people who just grabbed memberships on my website. I want to say thank you to Rebecca Robinson, who just signed up on my website.
Dumps.
Also, thanks to Matthew Shanahan using the coupon code MyHIPAA, as well as Phil B.
They call them dumps.
Thanks also to Aiden Cruz and Sean Kenner. Thanks to Brooklyn George. Hello. And Sean Clark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 11. 7 plus 1 is 8. Nothing to carry. And 1. That's 18. And this is a really risky coupon code for a lot of people. It might not only violate HIPAA, it violates OSHA, which is, that starts getting dicey. But very much appreciate everybody signing up today. Let's do a few more voicemails. Oh, sorry. Let's get back to a couple others. Tim says, sir, could there be a connection between ivermectin, steroidal drug pushing, and the understanding that these drugs cause potential aggression for September 18? No, I don't think so. That's a little too conspiratorial. Caleb says Abbott has tweeted his opinion. A power grab by Biden. Biden's vaccine mandate is an assault on private business. Texas is already working to halt this power grab. Man, Abbott is really doing everything he can to support the coronavirus. Really, really strongly supporting the virus. I'm sure the virus appreciates that. All right, a few other voicemails coming in. There are just so many. Let's see who else we've got. I'm going to skip another 10 voicemail screed from Drunk Chicago Guy just because we might have had enough of that for the time being. Let's see who else we've got.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay. You can now leave the real voicemail now that we've established that the audio works. Jeez. What is the voicemail lines have been extra crazy lately. See what else we've got.
You know, David, it's so hard to do anything these days. I'm trying to call in on the order line to get my order in for the David Packman coffee, but I can't seem to get through to a live person.
We haven't had coffee for 4 years. Yep.
Hey, David, Maric here. So, I'm a long-time listener of the show, and also a lot of lefty YouTubers, like your friends, Kyle, Sam, and etc. DYT. So I'm actually on the left, but I have a problem with the vaccine. You know, so I don't have a problem with the vaccine, but I have a problem with who is offering us the vaccine.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. Another 12 from Drunk Chicago Guy. I'm going to skip these. We're skipping. Oh, wow. This is actually like a 20. Oh, my God. This is a 30, 40. This is a 50 voicemail screed from Drunk Chicago Guy. I feel almost guilty skipping all of them. Let's just pick a random one just to say we've done it. But I can't do, 50 voicemails in a row. That is some dedication.
To mi amigo David, I'm willing to take out Tucker Carlson in the 4th round. And I'm promising that I will take him out in the 4th round.
What? Is he threatening? Oh, the 4th round. Of what? The 4th round of what? All right, let's skip over a few others. This is a 50 voicemail screed. Let's look at one other.
I mean, I love you, David. I'll box whoever you want me to, because you're David Packman, sir.
All right. I just can't do all of it. You know, it's 50 voicemails. It's crazy. Oh, here's one about rolling a cigarette. That might be interesting.
I might go roll a cigarette and maybe smoke some weed because you're...
Okay. All right. Another 10. This guy really, I think he spent the entire night. This looks like it's over a 6-hour period in the middle of the night. I'm still just clicking by just Drunk Chicago Guy. Click, 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 click. Here's the last one.
Yeah, I needed to talk to you because I was about to piss off a lot of people. Yeah, you're my best friend. Oh, I was gonna piss off some people.
Guys, I'm out. Okay. On that note, I'm out, and that's enough of that. I want to say a big thank you to Dying in Chat, who has resubscribed for 6 months. You are number 19 today. We actually, due to my vacation, quite frankly, our Twitch sub numbers have gotten so low that it's actually shameful. We may have to stop streaming on Twitch. We may not even be allowed to stay on because the Twitch Prime numbers are so low. It is depressing. I see people in the chat saying it's depressing. Oh, people are saying the voicemails are depressing. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, it could be like a rip Twitch type of situation coming up pretty soon. Let's listen to a few other voicemails that came in.
Hi, David. I was recently watching. I'm from DC. I'm a guy from DC. I was recently watching your short about these anti-vaxxers or COVID deniers who aren't afraid of COVID because of heaven. And I just think that's very funny because it's like, do you think not wearing a mask, not getting the vaccine, and putting other people at harm, making that choice, like, I don't know, puts you in a better position to go to heaven? Like, I would think the opposite.
That's a good point. If you're counting on heaven and that's why you don't wear a mask, maybe God will be mad that you put other people in danger. That's fair. That's fair. Let me say thank you to Jamachiro Lurdon and Casey Mack for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. Casey Mack, very worried, says, don't leave Twitch. Don't leave Twitch. I do want to also thank people who have gotten memberships on my website. These are just such great people. Ambrosia J has signed up with the code MyHIPAA. Gina Charette is a new member. Beatrice Stockler has signed up. And Carol S., as well as Michael DeVore. That's 4 out of 5 of those folks are women. We have such a larger female audience on the streams than on the recorded clips. It is really something interesting. We're going to be looking at the data very strongly because it is really something else. All these shows, like my show, Sam Cedar's show, The Young Turks, etc., the YouTube audience overall is about 70 to 75% male. And it's just common across these types of online news and politics shows. Even having a female host or guest host, a co-host, doesn't seem to change the balance. But on the streams, there are so many female viewers. And also on my Cameo, I get a lot, and my OnlyFans, obviously. But on my Cameo in particular, I get a whole bunch of requests, actually, from very nice young ladies, I must say. TikTok, that's interesting. How can I find the breakdown? Can I see demographics on TikTok? Let's see if I can find it. If somebody can tell me how to look at it. Let's see here. I guess it would be under, is it under creator tools, maybe? Where can we look at that? Analytics, okay. Let's see what we've got. Followers, content. Let's look at followers. I'm not actually seeing demographic info on TikTok. If anybody knows where to find it, let me see, under followers. Oh, here it is. Whoa. We're only 59% male on TikTok, 41% female. I think that TikTok then is where we have the biggest female audience. That's interesting. 41%. Let me see if I can check our Instagram. Where would that be? So let's see. Activity. I never look at insights. Okay. Insights, audience, locations, age, gender. We are almost 50-50 on Instagram. This is very interesting. 46% of our Instagram audience is women. This is off the charts. Let's see if we update it for a longer period of time. Yeah, 46%. That's amazing. That is not common. One of the big struggles with shows like mine, and I've talked to other hosts about it, is overwhelmingly male. And this impacts the advertisers that are interested. But the fact that we're almost 50-50 male, female on Instagram, I think that's actually huge. That's actually huge. Okay, let's continue. Oh, hold on. A few super chats here. The irony of Abbott and the My Body, My Choice power grab. What a joke, Texas. Texas has become a joke. It's sad. Lucian Birian says, Sir, I live in Romania. I hear anti-vax conspiracy theories identical to Republican ones every day. I don't think it's a coincidence. Less than 40% of people here are vaccinated. Yeah, I don't think it is a coincidence, actually. Sir, do you suppose Texas will put out a $10,000 bounty on vax and mask compliers as part of the pro-COVID life movement? It's so powerfully growing there. No, but morally, they would have no problem with that. Oh, thanks to RS Nerd for the Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate that. Deborah says, David, do we know yet who will be speaking at the September 18 rally in D.C.? No. September 18 rally D.C. Let's see what we can find out about it. What's the most recent article? Here's an article from CNN from just 18 hours ago. Let's see what we've got. Law enforcement bracing for clashes. This doesn't really seem to say much about the program. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything specific about the rally. Leader of the rally. Matt Brainerd, the lead organizer, said there would be no violence from his group. This is a completely peaceful protest. Well, hold on. Is it a protest or a rally? 500 people have indicated they plan to attend. Past events by this organization had a lower audience. U.S. House will be on recess. That's good. At least one Proud Boy leader has encouraged people to show up, but others have discouraged attendance. White Lives Matter will be doing global demonstrations on that day. The speaker lineup has not been released. Three members of Congress have declined. Oh, all but three have declined. The ones that haven't yet declined are Matt Gaetz, Green, and Cawthorn. Those would be the usual suspects, I would say. Yeah. We're going to keep an eye on that. We're going to be watching that extremely closely, that's for sure. Thank you to Kyle Fabian for signing up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA, because we expect a heavy amount of vaccine-related questions on today's press briefing. We are promoting the coupon code MyHIPAA at joinpacman.com because that's the refrain from many of these people. But that's my HIPAA. Give me a break, guys. Okay. Important question. Why don't you use your studio as a background for your second location instead of the posh apartment? Well, because I'm in the posh apartment. I don't have two of these backgrounds. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the question. Jeez. Denver says, Butterscotch, sir, we need you to stream the 16 2.0 rally. Reschedule the wedding. Yeah, I have to go to a wedding on September 18th. But I think the rally might be earlier than the wedding, in which case I should be able to cover at least some of it. Ryan asked, do I think SCOTUS will go after gay marriage? No, I don't think so. And will SCOTUS reform be needed to keep or make further progress, given that they will ignore precedent? That second part is a maybe. Yeah, that's a different question. Oh, I should stream at the wedding. That's actually a good idea. That's actually a really good idea. Let's see what else we've got. Other voicemails. Let's see what else is coming in.
Hey, David, this is Josh from Virginia. I thought I was a member, and it's probably my stupidity.
Oh, this is like okay, this is a membership question, so I'm not going to do that right now. You got to email in with membership issues. I mean, some of these voicemails are weeks old. It's very hard to keep up with voicemails. Let's see what else we've got. Here we go.
Hey, David. So with the new vaccine mandate from Biden on the 100 employees or more that you need to be vaccinated or get that negative test, one of the things I've been getting a lot of mileage on to really upset.
Okay, now the voicemail went blank. All right, and we lost the rest of the voicemail. Not clear what's going on there.
Hey, Dave, it's Oz. So it's finally happened. My anti-vax dad he's got COVID. He's in the hospital.
Nice.
I've described to you how he's a truck driver his entire
And by the way, I don't mean nice. I mean horrifying. I mean, it's just like, here we go again.
Distribution centers shut down. Everyone's got COVID. His oxygen levels were below 85 at one point. He started to recover, but just beside myself right now.
Yeah.
His wife, my stepmom, and his two granddaughters, step-granddaughters that he's raising, their teens are old enough to get vaccinated. None of them will get vaccinated. His wife.
Well, let's hope he recovers. I'm sorry to hear that, Oz. And yeah, I mean, it's, just get the vaccine. It's free,
Hi, David. It's Joanne calling from New York City. I love your show. I'm so impressed every time I listen to you speak. And I always want to ask you a million questions. But the most recent one that I was thinking about was, why is your phone number 219 area code?
We wanted David P. in the number. And at the time we signed up, based on what was available on Google Voice, that was the only one where we could do it. That's all. That's it. There's no other, that's really the entire story. I think this is Jimmy from Philly.
David.
Yeah.
Jimmy from Philly. What? What the fuck, David? Like, when the shrink asked me if I was gay, we really should have, asked if you were gay.
Not really. I mean, I'm in a relationship with a woman, and Jimmy says he hasn't been in a relationship for decades. So it seemed, you should have said that to Dr. K, Jimmy, if you didn't like the question.
All that plaid, you wear way too much plaid. You let your girlfriend get pushed around in Spain at the hospital. When she took that COVID test, she thought nothing of being treated.
What? Man, that's weird. Jimmy actually left a whole screed of voicemails. Okay, another one. Is he just playing clips when he calls? Really weird voicemails, Jimmy. Okay. Look, does he even know he's calling, or is he butt dialing?
Squeeze on people. I think, they're going to put the squeeze on people too.
That's Jimmy in the background. What a weird voicemail. People talking.
I mean, they don't have to be telling the truth about it. Can they do it? I think legally they can.
It seems like Jimmy is talking to someone else about politics, but just calling my voicemail number. Very weird. So anyway, he does seem to be lashing out. That's Jimmy from Philly. I want to say thank you to a bunch of people who just signed up via Twitch, including Andrew Dale, just resubscribed for 24 months. There's only a handful of people that are up to 24 months, and Andrew Dale is one of them. Thanks, Andrew. Also, Bijibo has signed up via Twitch. D. Forel and Kalinas have all signed up via Twitch, putting us at 33. Also want to say thanks to Lauren Olson, who just signed up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA. Thank you, Lauren. Yes, today and today only, unless we decide to do it again. The coupon code MyHIPAA saves you some insane amount off of the price of a membership. Have they delayed the press briefing again? Is that what's going on? Have they pushed it back now to 3 o'clock? NBC now says we're another hour away. Let's see if we can find that. Press briefing, September 10, 3 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. It's going to be pushed back till tomorrow, I know. Whitehouse.gov. 2 p.m. press briefing, they say. They're saying it's the website still says 2 o'clock. So we'll see. Very odd, though. If anybody gets definitive confirmation one way or the other, let me know. Thanks to Multi-Beast as well as K-Shreds for the Twitch Prime subs, though. That I appreciate. All right, let's keep going a little bit with the voicemails. John says, sir, why don't you use a picture of your studio as a green screen background for your second taping location? Yeah, maybe. Something to look at. Jessica says he leaves all these voicemails to punk you in the hopes you'll play them on a live stream. Don't give him oxygen. Jordan says, I work 7 days a week. My boss tells me if I miss work for any reason, I'll be fired. I'm scared I'll be too sick to work if I get it. Well, I would, that something in there doesn't sound totally legal. Something there is striking me as maybe not kosher, I guess I would say. All right, let's listen to a few more voicemails.
Hey, David, this is Jeremy from Knoxville. Have you noticed how often Tucker Carlson pauses to say, this is true, this is how it is? You might think this is weird, but it is. It's the truth. Again and again and again, it's almost hypnotic. I wonder how it plays into his convincing of otherwise really, really susceptible people.
Yeah. I mean, that's a technique. That's a tactic. Let's see what else we've got. We're actually doing pretty well as far as voicemails go. Margaret, no, we're going to skip this one. Here's another one.
Hey, David, this is Mark. I am curious as to what your thoughts are on the recent, we'll call them new accusations on Dr. Fauci and NIH regarding the, use of function or whatever it is. I just find it interesting that these articles keep saying, these are research or they are grants. They don't state whether or not they were already approved grants, this type of thing. I just want your take on it. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just not sure about that. I'm going to have to look into that. Yeah.
Hi, David. It's pronounced timbre. When somebody is upset and their voice changes pitch, and tone, the timbre.
I was waiting for this voicemail. I love that now I stumbled across it.
If somebody plays a string bass and then they play a piccolo, they're playing two instruments that have a different timbre.
Nope, it's timbre, and I'm going to stick with that. All right, next is, the Pack Dog guy is here.
Hey, David. B-Dog here. Recently, Trump Dog offered to fight Joe Biden in a boxing match. If the fight happened, Dog, who do you think would win and why? I'll take my answer off the air, Pack Dog.
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, Trump could be able to maybe throw his weight around against Joe Biden in a boxing match. But if it's normal boxing rules, I think Joe Biden actually has a pretty good shot. If it's UFC rules, I think maybe Trump's weight would become a factor. What do you guys think? Snuggles is right. Biden's probably scrappy. Biden just has to get Trump down. Yeah. No, that's true. That's actually a really good point. Okay. Speaking of which, I do have a couple of clips I want to look at. We looked at some clips from this Trump interview, but Aaron Rupar posted a few others, and I just want to look at them. I don't know what he grabbed, but let's just take a look.
Say to some of the Republicans, especially the rhinos, because we have some very stupid Republicans also. Yeah. I say, don't you so...
Oh, can I tell you? You guys heard... Did you guys hear that laughing? Listen to that.
Very stupid Republicans also. Yeah. I say...
So I'm not super familiar with this Gutfeld show, but I got an email or a Facebook message from a woman who says that I added the laugh track and that I manipulated the video. And it's like, are you really so stupid to think we would add a laugh track and then make it part of a discussion? I don't know if it's a laugh track or the people that watch the interview with Gutfeld in the studio or whatever's going on, but we didn't add a laugh track. That's just such a dumb accusation. Let's look at a couple others.
All right, so I have to ask you: do you miss Twitter at all? Do you tweet in your head, like because you're not on there anymore?
Well, you know, a lot of people think Twitter was bad for me. I disagree. I think it was good for me. Twitter's become a very boring place.
Like, why are people laughing at that? How is that even funny?
As I understand, I don't want to be like bragging or anything, but people are saying it's become very boring.
No, you made that. You made the site.
You know, when I went onto Twitter like 12 years ago, Twitter was a failed operation.
Is there any show that does a laugh track for a presidential interview? It's strange.
And it became successful, and a lot of people said I had a lot to do with it. When they took me off, I had way over 100 million people. And then if you add Facebook and everything else, it's over 200 million people. That's a lot. You go from...
Okay, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. What a strange program.
People are sick. You know, Zuckerberg used to come, you know, the lock boxes, which I call the unlock boxes because they unlock. So the unlock boxes all over the place. But he used to come to the White House to kiss my ass. And I'd say, oh, that's nice. I have the head of Facebook coming with his lovely wife. And they'd come and they'd have dinner with me in the White House. And then you see what they do about me and about Republicans, and it's just sort of crazy. But that's the way the world works.
What? What a strange thing. And here's a bonus clip of Jason Chaffetz.
Donald Trump, I think he created the vaccine and it...
Oh, man. It's got to be a comedy show. I mean, I just don't even understand it. It's so strange. Really weird. Really, really weird. All right, let's do a couple other voicemails. I think we are going to be going over some of the people you don't like.
Hey, Mr. Pacman. I saw your interview, the one that was broadcast, as well as the 2212 Fuller interview with Vincent Racaniello on the September 2nd show. And while everything Racaniello said is true and accurate, there are things that he leaves out because he was just winging it, okay? He was just treating it like it was a conversation as opposed to, you know, at least having some basic outline of notes for points not to forget.
What?
So Racaniello mentioned how the innate immune system tries to fight off the virus in the upper sinuses and the nasal pharynx. And he explicitly mentioned interferon. All true, okay? Interferon B and interferon lambda definitively can shut down SARS-CoV-2. But why does the virus get a foothold? It's because the virus codes for proteins that turns off interferon production. Okay? That's why it gets the foothold. Okay, so we try to produce interferon.
All right, I guess this is a critique of the interview with Vincent Racaniello. And this person continues to call back.
So rather than getting a better mRNA vaccine from Moderna or Pfizer that more specifically codes for Delta, okay, the Delta variant, there actually is research going on for a nasal vaccine that would immunize the nasal pharynx and the upper airways.
Okay. This guy's making a lot of assertions here.
So, Mr. Pacman, on a completely different note, okay, I don't know if you've ever heard of the aerialists, they call them stunt flyers.
Is he saying areolas?
Or acrobats, acro flyers. Patty Wagstaff, T-A-T-T as in tango.
Okay, all right, I got to get away from that. James Auburn says via Super Chat, Ad Fontes Media's updated interactive media bias chart is out. Your show ranks skews left, true, and respectably high in reliability. Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of that. Ad Fontes media bias chart. Let's check that out. Let's see what's up with that. I don't think we've ever been in a position to enter into any of these. Let's see. Go to the static media bias chart. Let's check this out. September 2021. There's no way I'm on here. Let's see. Oh my God. Now it's just, God, what is all this stuff? Okay. How can I zoom in on this somehow? Skews left. TYT's over here. I don't even see, where am I on it? I don't even see it. Cuomo, Jezebel. Does anybody see where I'm at here? Go to the interactive chart. That's the static chart. Go to the interactive chart. Oh, okay. Media bias chart. Interactive free. Okay. News source, Pacman. Free speech. What? So we're independent. Like, we're on free speech TV. I don't know that we should really. Okay. And how can I see us against other things? Audience size 0? What the hell? We should be on here not as a free... I don't like this, guys. We're on here as a free speech TV show. Free speech TV is one of 200 outlets that we're on. We have no viewers. I would like to... Does anybody know how we can put other... Let's see, reset. So we're around here. I don't want to remove. Man, that's an attack on everybody currently chatting on Twitch and YouTube. If my audience is 0, that means you all are fake. That means you're all fake. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. So let's do this. Let me write where we are in terms of placement. So we are at reliability 39 and bias -10, really -11. Okay. So now let's clear this. So like for comparison, TYT's bias, TYT is considered far more left and far less reliable. That's interesting. Wow. Oh, and they have no audience either. We're considered more reliable than the Daily Beast, but more to the center than the Daily Beast? That doesn't make sense. This is weird. We're considered more reliable than Rachel Maddow, but to Rachel Maddow's right. That's bullshit. I mean, this is way off. This is way off. Well, anyway, I guess it's interesting. Doesn't really seem like they know a damn thing about my show. But, okay. Well, I mean, it's interesting to look at for sure. Very, very interesting to look at. While we wait, can we watch the Trump Arizona audio problem video? Sure. I'm always up for watching that. Let's see if I can find it. Those are some of my favorite videos. Let's see where I need to somehow catalog that. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, I don't even know that this is the right one, but these are some of my favorite videos. No, that's a different problem. That's a different problem. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the actual ones. Did Trump hire Antifa as the sound guy? Yeah, I'm struggling to find it. Let me see if I can put Trump audio feedback. Was that, I think it was here, right around the 29th of July. Feedback. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm sorry, guys. It's for some reason, it's so tough to find those videos. It's really weird. Really, really weird. All right. Sorry. We got derailed here. Let's go. I know. I want to find them too. I know that Aaron Rupar is the person who posted them. Let's see. Trump, I think it was like derailed by feedback. Oh, here it is. Oh, wait, no. Here it is.
And our incredible, these people don't know what the hell they're doing. Let me recover my ears for 1 second.
Yeah, this is it. Let's see if we can find the full thread. Yeah. Okay, good. This is the video. This is the original video thread. Chanting lock her up. Trump derailed by feedback. Trump claims Biden wants to ban weddings. Here it is.
The Biden. These guys, yeah, that's right. You can't. Maybe, now it's probably a rhino is operating. They're having a bad day today. They're having a bad day, but we're having a good day. Thank you. It's all right. Don't worry. Hey, fellas, don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. The Biden plan will crush you. Will crush your family. Both of your states.
All right. And I think there was one more issue. Man, these were the days, huh? Yeah, I guess that it's just those two. That one and this one other one.
And our incredible, these people don't know what the hell they're doing. Let me recover my ears for 1 second.
Latinos for Trump not reacting favorably to the sound issues.
Whoever did this microphone, don't pay him. You know, I have a reputation for not paying, and it's a false reputation.
Right.
When somebody does a lousy job, like a microphone that's no good, or like teleprompters that fly with the wind, I say, don't pay them.
All right. This was a funny rally in general. There was one other thing here. Oh, yeah. This is a good clip, too. Trump like just makes up out of thin air that like someone called and said Biden would be bad.
I had a leader of a country call up. He's a very tough leader, tough as hell. They're going to figure it out, maybe. Although they wouldn't if it was right, if it was good, they were not going to report it. And he said, I hope Biden doesn't win because he's always sleeping. That was an interesting thing.
Slipping.
This is a killer. Says, I hope he doesn't win because he's always sleeping. You know, I thought he was being funny. I said, you happen to be right about.
This is funnier because he lost. I think it's important to say. Had he won, I think it would be very, very different. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's funny for Trump to be like, you know how I have a reputation for not paying people? That reputation is false. By the way, do not pay these audio engineers. But it's a false reputation. It's not real. Okay. All right, let's continue. Let's see what else we've got. All right.
Bro, this is Oz, and I see you put Jimmy from Philly. That guy is diabolical, and you're giving him a full blast platform, and you're always ignoring my calls, and you shadow ban me, and I'm not.
Oz, I don't know how many times I have to explain it to you. We haven't shadow banned you. I don't even know what that means. I still don't know how to shadow ban someone. It's just we just can't do it.
Hello, David Packman, longtime fan of yours. This is Herbert Gilbert.
So this is Troy York with a new name, Herbert Gilbert.
I'm calling in response to your program about Joe Rogan, and I'm a fan of both of your podcasts.
Oh, sure.
Long devoted listener, but I think in Joe Rogan's case that he does not have COVID. He is full of horse shit, and this is why he wants the horse drugs. I think he has a horse addiction.
Okay, all right. We're going to get away from that. And let me see what else we've got. All right, let's get away from voicemails in general for the time being. I want to say thanks to Hi Fam, who signed up with the coupon code MyHIPAA. Also, thanks to Jared Tennant, who just signed up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA, putting us at 38. Thanks also to Darth Bane, who has now been subscribed 25 months. I think that's the record. And the reason why I believe that is as follows. We first streamed on Twitch in August of 2019. That's 25 months ago. Therefore, my sense is if we were not on Twitch more than 25 months ago, no one could possibly be a Twitch subscriber longer than 25 months. Can someone gut check me on that? But My Art is My Arsenal has subscribed. Darth Bane is at 25 months. Tina Tiru has subscribed. Ninja Lajs has subscribed. So has Dollar Batteries. Catastrophic Failure. And Beef Stews. That's 5, putting us at 43 for the day. Thank you. All right. Other super chats. Klaus says, do you know the Good Liars on Instagram? TGLNYC on Instagram. Great trollers at Trump rallies. Let's check that out. TGLNYC Instagram. The Good Liars. Let's see what they've got. They have IGTV stuff? Let's see. No. Let's check out some of these videos.
Get them and like them, get them, or you want to get them. Some of the spelling's even right.
So you just came out and told us there's a bunch of spelling errors in
No,
here.
I didn't tell you it's a bunch. Let me sign you guys.
This doesn't have a period there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There's no space after this hyphen.
You guys, if you keep doing that, I'll take the book back.
You want to just read the first paragraph?
Yeah. Political capital and content of
Okay, so there's one here too.
See, this is all gone wrong here. You either look at them and like them.
Maybe I'm missing some context.
If you could give a message to Donald Trump, what would it be?
You said you would be back, and so that's why we're here.
And if he's not back by the end of this year?
I don't have any idea what will happen to this country.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I totally agree with you. It seems like people are believing crazier and crazier things that don't make sense, that don't have any basis in reality. And the country seems like it's in really bad shape.
It's in completely bad shape. So we can pray and, hope that the Q team has something up their sleeve.
I'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
If you could give
Is there such a team? Like, is there actually a Q team?
Hey guys, where are you guys coming in from?
Avon Lake.
Avon Lake? America first?
Yeah.
All right.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
It's got the Confederate flag now. Hey guys, where are you guys coming in from?
All right, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Seems like they do a nice job. Jukebox request for Rudy Fart song. Not right now. Not right now. VHS says voicemails have now become like kids trying to go viral by being weird, only they are adults. My favorite right-wing audio glitch is the Newsmax clip that goes haywire when they mention Bernie Sanders. Yeah, it's like there's an infinite loop. Bernie, infinite, Newsmax. Let's see if we can find that one. Let's see, Bernie Newsmax. Not finding it. It is tough to find these sometimes on a whim. Bernie Newsmax glitch? No. All right, too bad. Yeah, if only I had some kind of system to better find those things. But alas, we don't. Okay. All right, let me pull up another. I had another video that I wanted to show you guys. CNN did an interesting thing. What was the guy's name? CNN. Omar Jimenez from CNN posted about it. Let me see here. This is like really, really something else. Oh, no, this is the wrong one. Omar Jimenez, CNN. Here we go. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Check this out. This is a journey into anti-vax. Let's take a look at this.
This spike is a little shocking. It's really raging here.
Everybody's scared. Everybody's coming down with it. It's almost like a plague.
I had both shots of the vaccine, and people just acted like,
Oh, by the way, thanks to Montian for gifting 20 subs on Twitch. Thanks also to Jules is Cools and Azimer and the Wallop Amber Diane. Thanks to all of you. That's another 25, putting us at 68. All right, let's continue.
help. It bothers me sometimes that people just act like COVID is a big joke. I always want to say, well, why don't you just come right up here to the cemetery and I'll show you my husband's grave and I can show you it's no joke.
Over the 5 days we spent in Carter County, Missouri, it felt like COVID was closing in around us. The positivity rate kept climbing and is now 32%. Some people we wanted to interview told us they'd just been exposed or were too sick to talk.
This is a chicken picker. Hold that in your hand.
We first came to Van Buren in October 2020, when COVID was starting to surge in rural America. When we heard that one of the diners we'd interviewed people in had closed for COVID, we wanted to come back and see what had changed. By the end of this spring, many thought COVID was over, but in the past few weeks, it's raged through town. The vaccination rate is very low, with only 27% fully vaccinated.
27?
The overwhelming majority of our patients that are admitted to the hospital with clinically severe COVID are unvaccinated. I didn't realize how unvaccinated we were. I guess that's my fault. I didn't continue to push as hard as I should have to get people vaccinated because I thought everybody was, because the virus and the disease was abating, but I was wrong. It came back like a brush fire.
Are you vaccinated?
No, but I will be. I was pretty skeptical of it until I've kind of watched all this happen.
Jim's wife, Ruth, fought cancer for 12 years, but COVID killed her in 8 days.
Wow.
He says the doctor told her not to take the vaccine because of her chemo. When did your wife die?
July the 20th. I talked to her up till Sunday before she died. And she said, this is bad. She said, you just all need a shot. And I think she's right.
Last time we came here, the debate was over masks, and it had gotten very political.
We sit in the coffee shop and watch people walk in the door. We look at a mask and we all look at each other and we go, Democrat.
Later that fall, there was a COVID surge in the area. But the health center says this wave is much worse. In Van Buren, after just 2 days of school this August, about 20 kids tested positive. 5 days later, almost a quarter of students were under quarantine. The preschool had to close for 2 weeks.
Come get your food, Tyler.
People in town were gossiping about who had it and where they got it. And they'd all seen our last story.
The last story you did? Mm-hmm. Well, I kind of thought it was all bullshit myself.
Well, tell me more. Tell me why.
That ain't the way people are here. I think people here try to take care of each other. Those boys sitting in the coffee shop don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about COVID. They need to walk through the COVID ward. That change your mind.
But Jim admits some people are pretty set in their views.
Good friend of mine, he hasn't had the shot, but everywhere he goes, if he goes in any place, he wears a mask. And he's probably one of the best guys I know. But
now, what I'm not understanding is this guy said he's now going to get vaccinated, but why hasn't he?
Gonna change anything about him. Maybe you ought to interview him.
Would he talk to him?
Yeah, but you probably wouldn't like what he'd tell you.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right, let me get my phone. Hello? Hey, I'm surrounded. I need you to come down here. I'm serious.
Who are you surrounded by?
Well, a bunch of women.
Okay, I'll be right there.
All right. Hey, they're
I'll be right there.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
What on earth?
Can I sit down there and buy you?
Why do you not want the vaccine?
I ain't taking that shit. I ain't taking it. I don't like people trying to push a shot on me or something else because I'm this bull-headed this fella you ever seen.
Last fall.
Dear God. How do you convince that guy, right?
COVID put Wayland in the hospital for 7 days.
I was on everything they had. Steroids, full drip, plasma from people that had COVID, drug that they give my president, Trump, and they finally burned it out of me.
What's the difference, though, between the
They burned it out of me.
vaccine and the drugs that you did take, like Regeneron?
Well, yeah. I would have took
Convalescent
anything.
plasma.
It wouldn't have mattered what it was.
But why would you trust Regeneron and not the vaccine?
Am I going to have to tell her? I don't know. You know, they... Well, the one thing is, they shafted my president. They would have had the vaccine, already had it, but they wouldn't give it to him because they knew damn good and well he'd be reelected. They couldn't know.
So it's so weird because first he says, well, I don't get the vaccine because I don't want people pushing anything on me. And then she makes a good point, which is, you know, the Regeneron was also not FDA approved. So like why'd you take the Regeneron and not the vaccine? And he's like, well, because the vaccine could have been fully released under Trump, but they held it back to make Trump look bad and Biden look good. So that's why he's not getting the vaccine, but he took Regeneron. I mean, it's crazy.
And nobody could do. So they had to swindle around and skin around and keep it from him just as soon as the election was over. Here, we got it. You shafted me out of my president. I ain't taking your medicine. Not from... I'll take what they give him, but I'm not taking yours.
Trump got the vaccine, right? I mean, so if you'll take what Trump got vaccinated.
He took the vaccine, though.
Well, he might have. I don't know that.
Well, do you think Trump's lying?
Give him the Regeneron.
They did give him that, but he did take the vaccine.
Later on, probably, yeah. I'm not saying he didn't. I don't know that. But that's what pissed me off, and I ain't taking it because I'm that bullheaded.
There's no evidence for Waylon's theory, but he wasn't alone in his skepticism.
Have you thought about getting the vaccine?
No way.
Oh, really? How come?
Because I don't want to get sick.
And you think the vaccine would make you more sick?
Probably. It made my mom sick.
Okay. What you mean when she got the...
Well, she got the vaccine in February.
And she got sick on Monday with COVID?
Yep.
Maybe COVID. Is she going to get tested?
Probably not. She's just staying home.
Oh, okay.
And I'm bringing her groceries and doing whatever I can away from her.
Yeah.
One of her friends tested positive, and she had been with him, so more than likely.
I'm really behind right now because
This is like another country, quite literally. I mean, it's actually crazy what's happening in this country.
I was down for about a week and a half being sick, and I don't care. I got it. I told everybody, hey, I had COVID. Hey, if you don't want to get around me, don't get around me. I do have it.
So did you have the vaccine?
No.
Why not?
There's not enough research on it. I'm not totally against the shot. I mean, if I have to take it and it's going to help me in the future and not hurt me, yeah, I may take it.
Well, we know that now. You know, it's always tough when we see this stuff because it's like, in one sense, we are talking about people who have been the targets of disinformation. Like, these are victims in some sense. They've been targeted with disinformation and all these things, and we should see them as victims and blah, 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 blah. At the same time, like, I don't want to be offensive, but these people don't strike me as super smart. So how much of it is just intelligence? I don't know. I don't know the answer. Like, it's not striking me that these people are particularly intelligent based on the conversations that they're engaging in. So at a certain point, like, is this a disinformation thing? Is it an education thing? Is it both? Is it that the education problem makes people good targets for the disinformation? I don't know.
Are you vaccinated?
I am not.
And why not?
I just haven't got vaccinated.
Okay.
Had a lot of people around me's had it. I just never got vaccinated. Around here, we're pretty country folk, and it's kind of hard to get people to do something they don't understand completely, or they don't feel the need to.
But are you in that category?
Well, I guess. Now I'll really get deep with you. I believe if the good Lord wants me right now, it doesn't matter if I take a vaccine or I don't.
Right. So it's like, do you wear seatbelts? Would you take antibiotics if you had a sinus infection? Would you get a cavity fixed? How far does that apply? It's very, very weird.
I know a lot of people would say, well, he also gave you common sense and you ought to go get the shot. But that's just, that's just the way I look at it.
Is God more likely to save people that have gone and gotten the shot, right? I mean, it's like you could do this endlessly if you want to do that.
Thanks.
I don't want to ever give anybody an excuse for doing something like not getting vaccinated, but the reasons do hearken to someone who has, been told that they're a dumb hillbilly all their life by the rest of the country, and that's not an excuse, but it's part of the reason. I don't know that we're oppressed or disenfranchised, and I don't know if we deserve to even feel that way here, but we are a flyover state. In a social situation where peer pressure is so hard, we've had a lot of trouble to try to get people vaccinated. To break out of that peer group is very hard for people.
Has anyone wanted to get vaccinated in secret?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Like, tell me what they say.
When they're in my office and they say, I don't want to get vaccinated and this is why, and it's usually, at the very best, a specious reason or a fallacious reason, we have set up things where we can sneak one in your arm wherever you need to do it, because that's our goal.
Can you imagine, guys? That's what we've come to now.
It's hard, but it's not impossible. The health center said more people in Van Buren got the vaccine after 2 local kids in their 20s were hospitalized with COVID earlier this summer. Last year, we talked to Brian, who was pretty cavalier about COVID.
I guess if I get it and it kills me, then it's slow walking and sad singing for the family.
What would you put on your tombstone?
Didn't wear a mask.
It took some convincing, but he agreed to talk to us again and tell us what's happened since.
And no one feels like they can trust our government. It's not my fault. No one's wearing their mask. I mean, it's not my fault.
Seems this is the real Ozark, not the one with Laura Linney and Jason. Oh my God, Jason. What's the guy's name? Somebody. Jason Bateman, exactly. Yeah, less glamorous.
No one's taking the vaccine. It's the government's fault.
Did you get the vaccine? Please, Brian. Did you get the vaccine?
It doesn't matter whether I got the vaccine or not, whether I did or didn't. Corona doesn't care who you are.
I know.
Whether you think you're a big tough guy or whether you're anything, it doesn't matter. If you get it, it can kill you. End of story.
So did he get vaccinated?
My wife to have to wonder when they put you in a medical induced coma and stick a tube down your throat, is he going to come back out of it? That's why I got a vaccine.
Ah, he got the vaccine. Okay. I mean, very, very interesting video, but extraordinarily depressing. Extraordinarily depressing. Wow. That is something, huh? Thanks to Hydrogen for subscribing via Twitch Prime. You are number 69 today. Also want to say thank you to Jake Conklin, who just signed up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA, number 70 today. Very much appreciate that. If you're just joining us, we're standing by for Jen Psaki. Now almost 2 hours late, if you can believe it. Almost 2 hours late, expecting endless nasty questions about the vaccine mandate announced yesterday, a mandate which you can circumvent just by getting tested if you prefer. Because it is going to be a heavy vaccine press conference, we have the coupon code MyHIPAA available on my website. You can use that code to save and save big. As you can see here, I've typed in the coupon code and look at these outrageous prices. These are crazy, crazy prices. And we've been thanking everybody who signs up on the website. Let me get caught up on Super Chats while we were watching that. A few of these flew by and I didn't see them. Vash says, how to deal with that guy is ask him what he wants on his tombstone if he gets the virus. Hopefully he doesn't get it. Be safe, everyone. Yes. Jimmy from Philly says, circle back, David. Yeah. I know. Jen Psaki, she says, circle back. I got it. Mart says, I was glad to live in Quebec, Canada, where school districts were free of anti-vax message. But today, I saw that some schools were full of anti-vax message on their walls. That doesn't sound good. Justin Andrew Watson says, David, sir, I resubbed and didn't hear my name. I don't know where you did it, but thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. Okay. Oh, people seemed interested in the anti-vaccine interview. Let me pull one other one out of my hat, which I had here. Hold on. You might find, I mean, they're depressing, but they are fascinating. Let me see. Where was this one? Let me see how I can find it. Anti-vax interview. Nope. Is it anti-vaccine interview? Yeah, I'm having trouble finding it. Hold on. Anti-vaccine interview with a space, maybe? Yeah, I'm not finding it. I apologize. I had a bunch of stuff queued. Let me take one more look at it. Yeah, I'm not able to find it. Okay. I'll just pull up my other list of stuff that I had for you guys. I did the Apple Store meltdown. Okay, here's one other mask meltdown. And again, one of the things we've been asking is, like, are these just merely mentally ill people?
Blood pressure up over a fucking virus. Jesus Christ, man. What's the matter? This is America. Not 1920 Russia. Hey, do your job. And you shut the fuck up. Sir, you don't have to use that language. Yes, I can. It's America. Freedom of speech. Yeah, and expression. And expression. You don't like it? Leave.
Everybody's a constitutional expert all of a sudden.
Hey, mind your own fucking business, Chubby. Look who's talking. You heard what I said. Interesting. I heard what you said too. He's doing his job. Fucking Nazi communist bastard.
Nazi.
You all gotta know it.
Nazi. Okay, yeah, so there's that guy. Here, not all of these are new.
Fuck you! Fuck you! No, it's not enough!
Park your car.
No!
Driving. Like, what the hell?
You better get the fuck away from me. Fuck you!
We have a car. This is a roadway over here, man. Can you please move
Everyone better stop fucking yelling at me right now. It's I'm not fucking moving.
Can you please move your car?
Thank you!
Exact same thing to a fucking Forerunner. Park over here. Okay?
I don't listen to you either. Listen, you short fucking piece of shit. Okay? Grow some,
that? She called me a short fucking piece of shit.
grow some fucking balls, baby. Grow some fucking balls.
All right, so very, very much against masking. Let's see a couple others here.
Girl here wants me to come out of the elevator so she can come out of the elevator.
Because it's a small space, we're supposed to maintain social distancing. I don't understand why you can't just politely step out to allow me out of the elevator when I asked you nicely while you have been wearing your mask.
You didn't ask me nicely. You said get the fuck out the elevator.
This seems like a different problem here.
After you refused to get out, you have a giant ball.
My girl.
What on earth?
Oh, my girl. Hold on. My girl. You want to stand in the elevator with me and catch it? Like, you're not making sense, and you might as well get off at your floor.
I'm trying to get off at my floor. I can't come close to you. Do you not understand that I am extremely compromised?
So tension's running very, very high. Going through just a couple of these. Here's a woman who wanted to she wanted to go to the dentist and didn't want to wear a mask. It's like, come on, guys. We know what medical office is. It's masking. We're doing masking.
Not my nose. I don't wear a mask getting my teeth cleaned.
But it's about the safety of all of our...
Fine, I'll cover my mouth. Can I go be seated now?
No, because you're not filling out the forms or letting us take your temperature. It's about protecting our...
You can't take my temperature. That's against the law.
All right, well, I can't...
You're not an MD.
We're not allowed to...
We can't see you. I have a right to sue you for harassing me, the manager.
That's true. She has a right to sue whoever she wants, whether the lawsuit is BS. She's right. She's right. She has a right to make any lawsuit she wants to get a lawyer to file.
And this entire company, Smile. Whatever.
She'll lose. Yeah, of course.
I do have that right, and I talked to my attorney before I came here, too.
Imagine, hey, sir, attorney, counselor, do I have the right to sue my dentist if I don't like it? Well, yeah, you have the right to sue them, sure. I don't think it means what you think it means, though.
So does he want that to happen? I've waited long enough for my teeth to be cleaned, okay? Let's get this done, okay?
I can't. They're telling me I can't see you.
Who's there?
The owner of the practice.
I want to hear him. Get him on the phone. He has to send me in written writing, so I want to...
Written writing, not spoken writing.
You shouldn't be in the building without a mask either. I can do what I want.
No,
I'm
you
free.
can't.
It's not a law. It's not a law.
This is a medical law.
No.
All right. So anyway, there's that. And then here's one more. This is a recent one, which I did not yet have a chance to look at. This is a guy having some kind of a meltdown on a plane. It was really weird. He's like eating the mask. Is this a political statement or is this a psychotic break? Now, I have to say, this person's also not really wearing the mask correctly. Is this a pilot or a flight attendant? I don't know what this is, but this individual is also wearing the mask weirdly.
Sit down now. You can't hold us. We're out on the ground, sir. Sit. Yes, we are. We're only grounded. Sit. You see anybody else getting up? Sit. God. Sit. You sit down on that seat. You stay. Don't find it. Really? Sorry, folks, but that's what they think of America. They think that it is disgrace.
Oh boy.
I think
and the cops are here.
America has not
the tap on the shoulder.
disgrace. I think of America as not a disgrace. Really? Yeah. Really? Really?
Wow. Man, what a humiliation. You really have to be extra careful now on planes because if you lose it, it's gonna get filmed, you know? I think I posted one of these. I'm just keeping an eye on Jen Psaki. Should be any moment now. I think I posted one of these. Not this one. No, we did coughing woman. Oh, I guess I didn't. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's like this is obviously mental illness, serious mental illness of some kind and or alcoholism, but at the same time it's become so political that where it's a combination of if you have certain conditions and certain political views, your public meltdown will be related to something like this. Whereas people on the left also have psychotic breaks and different things. They're not going to be over not wearing a mask. It's going to be about, who knows what, something else, I guess, is the point. Very oppressive mask wearing was happening there. Thank you to Gemma Galaxy or Galaxy, who just signed up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA. Also, thank you to Patrick Weatherly, welcoming you as a new member as well, number 71 and 72. Thank you also to Zebo Jojo, number 73, over on Twitch today. Very much appreciate that. They all behave like they are heroes or righteous, says Josh. Yeah. Ross. So many worried about long-term effects of the vaccine, but why not the virus? Long-term lung damage, clotting issues, sensory issues, illogical. I agree with you. Jeff says maybe a required class in high school should be statistics, media literacy, analyzing science, literature, and studies. Yeah, I actually had a great conversation yesterday on the show with Henry Giroux, and we talked about that very strongly. Very, very strongly. Angie says, hell yeah, Jen Psaki to me. And now 2 hours late, we are finally going to get to the press briefing. Shouldn't even be legal, quite frankly. I think this is Peter Ducey ready to ask some nasty questions. This is a perfect time, by the way, to re-up that Twitch Prime subscription. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. You take $5 out of Jeff Bezos' pocket. Hard to imagine a better deal than that. This is a good question. Is it important to take breaks from the news? Yes. From now until Monday, I'm going to be on a break from the news. I think it is very important. Very important. I've spoken about that before. Let's see here. What else do we have? Will the craziness never stop? I'm so exhausted. Yes. Very much so. Yeah, mental health breaks, of course. Yeah, over the weekend I'll read history and philosophy and fiction, but just not pay attention to the news. Oh, I think I can maybe squeeze in another voicemail or two.
Yes, I called once before. My daughter got the vaccine. Her second dose was in May. She was fine on the day she got it, and then in the evening. Whoa!
Actually, I'm reading ahead, and I can't actually air what this person's about to say. I'm gonna have to skip that.
Hi, everyone.
All right, here's Jen Psaki.
Thank you for your patience. I know you're all thrilled to be sitting here at 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, but here we are together. Okay, so I have 2 items for all of you at the top. Today, the White House Competition Council, which includes 8 cabinet secretaries and the chairs of 7 independent agencies, held its inaugural meeting here in the Roosevelt Room of the White House. The council's first meeting focused on the actions agencies have already taken to promote competition and help lower costs for American families in just the 2 months since the president issued the competition executive order. The members of the Competition Council have met every deadline in the executive order so far and delivered even more than what was required ahead of schedule. The agency's actions cover a broad range of industries and are aimed at reducing the prices people pay when they shop at the grocery store, when they travel to visit their loved ones, when they're choosing an internet plan, and when they purchase the prescription drugs they need. During the meeting, several agencies, including HHS, DOT, USDA, DOJ, and the FTC, briefed the other council members on the important work they've done. This includes a major effort by the Department of Transportation to get refunds for thousands of travelers whose flights were canceled due to COVID-19. DOT published a new report highlighting how it is helping secure refunds for thousands of those passengers, including by investigating the refund practices of 18 airlines, filing a formal complaint against Air Canada for refund delays, and getting 9 airlines to change their refund policies so that passengers can get refunded more quickly. This is just the beginning. Obviously, more work ahead. A quick preview of the week ahead. You know a lot of this already, but tomorrow the President and First Lady will honor and memorialize the lives lost with travel to all 3 sites of the 9/11 attacks, visiting New York City, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the Pentagon. On Monday, the President will travel to Boise, Idaho, where he will visit the National Interagency Fire Center. He will also head to Sacramento, California, to survey wildfire damage that has affected the region. Then the President will head to Long Beach, California, to participate in an event with Governor Gavin Newsom. On Tuesday, he will travel to Denver, Colorado, to participate in a Build Back Better infrastructure event. We'll have more details, I expect, over the coming days. More to come in the schedule for the week ahead. With that, Alex, go ahead.
Here we go.
I was hoping you could comment on some new reporting from my colleague that health concerns have halted U.S.-bound flights of Afghan evacuees from 2 key countries. What was behind that? Is it COVID-related? Do you know how many Afghan refugees are affected?
Sure. Let me give you the information we have at this point. Operation Allies welcome flights into the United States have been temporarily paused at the request of the CDC and out of an abundance of caution because of 4 diagnosed cases of measles among Afghans who recently arrived in the United States. These individuals are being quarantined in accordance with public health guidelines, and the CDC has begun full contact tracing. All arriving Afghans are currently required to be vaccinated for measles as a condition of entry into the United States, and critical immunizations, including MNR, are being administered for Afghans at military bases in the United States.
Wow.
And we are also, MMR, sorry, we are also exploring measures to vaccinate people while they are still overseas, so that's something we're looking into. But it was, again, a step recommended by the CDC out of an abundance of caution given 4 measles cases.
And then I wanted to ask about a change in tone from the administration when it comes to blaming the unvaccinated.
Uh-oh, here we go.
About when Governor Ivey said it's time to start blaming unvaccinated folks, and you said, quote, you didn't think it was, quote, our role to place blame, and it was, quote, not the role of the federal government to blame. But that's pretty much what President Biden did yesterday. So what has shifted, in these months that you've decided to take a more aggressive tone?
Well, I don't think it will surprise you. I wouldn't characterize his speech in exactly those words or that terminology. What you heard the president convey yesterday is the next steps that he is taking, using every lever of government to reduce his sicknesses, to reduce hospitalizations, to protect more people and save more lives. I will say that he was channeling the frustration that millions of people across this country are feeling who are vaccinated.
True.
That many governors and elected officials have also shared their frustration over. And as is the case, I mean, it is also true that there has also been a growing frustration among people. So if you look at the trends over the last couple of months, we didn't anticipate, I will say, that when there was a vaccine approved by under a Republican president, that the Republican president took, that there would be such hesitation, opposition, vehement opposition in some cases from so many people of his own party in this country. We didn't anticipate that. It's also true that there were many people in this country who weren't vaccinated who said, I'm just waiting for the FDA to approve the vaccine. That happened several weeks ago. There's still 80 million people who were unvaccinated. And we've also seen during this time the Delta variant, a transmissible variant, pose greater risks, put more people in hospitals, including kids. So that is why people across the country are frustrated, who are vaccinated, and certainly the president was channeling that yesterday.
And one more quick one on OSHA. Can you talk about enforcement of the vaccine mandate for businesses? We've already seen a lot of evidence.
They get 3 questions each.
There was an IG report that suggested, even though there's been more OSHA complaints, there's been fewer investigations. So will the administration be providing more resources to OSHA to help them to implement this mandate? How will it work?
That's a great question, Alex. Obviously, the president just announced the steps yesterday. There'll be a rulemaking process that's going to take a little bit of time, and certainly whatever resources they need, I'm sure the president will want them to have.
Go ahead. Just to follow up on the enforcement of that, realistically, I mean, how long could it take? Some experts say it could take months, and the effects of this new rule, especially for companies, may not be felt in time for the Delta wave. Do you have an estimation on how long it could take?
I don't have an estimation for you today, but there's clearly an urgency here, and we want to ensure that rulemaking proceeds rapidly, as quickly as possible. I'll also note, though, that there are a number of companies that have already put requirements in place. United Airlines, Tyson Foods, Southwest, Houston Methodist, the huge hospital system was one of the biggest ones that did this early. They had a varying number of days for implementation, but certainly we're going to put every resource in the federal government to get this going rapidly. We've also seen announcements. Southwest Airlines announced today it was taking the next steps toward full compliance. And Business Roundtable issued a statement welcoming the president's announcement.
Do it for
certainly
passengers.
This will be up to a number of private sector companies. Our expectation and hope is they will take these steps on their own, and then we will continue to implement for those who are not complying.
Another question on the Republicans that have come out, obviously criticizing the new requirements. 19 Republican governors have said that they plan to fight this. Has the White House been in contact with any of those governors who have criticized this since the president made this announcement yesterday?
I don't have any engagements or calls to read out for you. We are in touch with a range of governors, Democratic and Republican, every week, if not more frequently, about a range of topics, including our efforts to address the pandemic. We're also in touch with health officials up and down the lines in these states who are often implementing these plans and policies.
One last question for you. Just an appeals court just ruled in favor of Governor Ron DeSantis and his administration, saying the state could not enforce a ban on strict mask mandates. Just a response to that, are you concerned that this is going to put more children at risk in that state?
Well, one of the steps the president announced yesterday is that we have the funding, the resources, and the intention of having the back of school leaders in school districts, superintendents, and others who do the right thing by students. And that includes putting in place mask requirements and other requirements that will keep them safe.
Go ahead. Jen, with the 9/11 commemorations, can you tell me what you are doing to sort of go back and address the huge, massive wave of hate crimes that we saw against Arab Americans, Muslim Americans, and those who were taken to be either Arab or Muslim?
From 20 years ago?
What is the White House's plan to address that component of the history of the aftermath of the attacks?
Well, first I would say that
guys, I'm sorry, it's a bit of a weird question.
For equity, that we are speaking out, that we are taking actions against hate crimes, verbal abuse of any kind, against any group is certainly central to what we in this administration.
I'm not devaluing protecting people who were targeted for their identity. What are you going to do about the fact that 20 years ago, it's sort of like, it's kind of like what happened with Asian people because of the pandemic now happened with, people perceived to be Muslim 20 years ago, but I don't know. Why is now? What?
I was talking about this the other day with some of us and conveying that, he remembers that day being on the train on the way to Washington. The first thing he wanted to do was to go to the floor of the Capitol and convey to the American people that this is a time to come together. And so that will certainly be central to his message. It's not just words. I'm not suggesting that, but that is certainly what you will hear him say in this video and what we'll continue to convey. I would say, though, that there will continue to be efforts and actions by the Department of Justice, by agencies across government to fight hate crimes, to speak out against them, and to take any actions in our power to do that.
Can I just follow up on that, just in terms of the unity question? So I tried to ask the president today at the event at the school whether he's concerned that his actions, we've seen the backlash from Republicans and others in terms of the vaccination mandates. Is he concerned that, what's happening now is actually driving the country further apart, both in terms of the vaccinations?
Uh-oh. Should we switch? Let's maybe go over here.
There's a lot of controversy and divisiveness also about Afghanistan and how that was handled. I mean, are you worried that at this point the country's getting further apart? And
is Biden doing too much and some people don't like it?
The president believes that the reason he took the steps he did yesterday is because he believes that beyond politics, that the role of the president of the United States is to protect people and save their lives. It wasn't that we didn't anticipate there would be strong reactions, and there were. But ultimately, 75% of adults who are eligible in this country are vaccinated. 80 million people, or 25% of people who are eligible, are not. This is not intended to be a dividing issue. It's intended to actually, or a political issue. What his objective is to deliver on what he thinks he promised the American people, which is to save their lives. Ultimately,
Jen, why hasn't the president banned the virus?
Because there's broad support for them across the country, whether that is making sure we have more roads, rails, and bridges that are fixed, or making sure that we do more to save money, to reduce costs for middle class and working class families. So yes, we do see some loud, vocal opponents of what the president announced yesterday. That's not a surprise. It's unfortunate, it's disappointing, it's sad, because ultimately these steps will save lives, but we remain confident in our ability to move the agenda forward.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Why include the option to test out in this new Labor Department?
Beautiful question.
For businesses, you mean? You mean instead of just requiring businesses vaccinate? Ultimately, businesses are going to make those decisions. And this is a way to implement the OSHA
but the question is
regulations
why?
that, by the way, are part of what has been federal law for more than 50 years. That's why we have the capacity and the ability to do this. And we think it's going to have a huge impact. Many businesses may choose the option of allowing for testing as an option. Many may choose that they should just make vaccines the requirement, but it leaves it up to them to make that decision.
If they do testing, who pays for the testing? Is it the business or the employee?
I would believe it's probably per business make that decision, but I would bet that most would believe the business.
That's an issue.
The president
president has said previously he did not want to mandate the vaccine. So can you explain why his thinking on this has changed?
Sure. Well, first, I know he said that back in December or January, so 8-9 months ago, and I've touched on a couple of the components that we feel have changed a bit. One is that we didn't anticipate, once the vaccine was readily, widely available and free to the public across the country, anyone who wants a vaccine has been able to get one for months, that there would be such opposition to it, especially given it was approved under the former president, a Republican president. The second piece of this is that we also anticipated, or maybe we didn't anticipate, but we knew that a number of people were waiting for FDA approval to get the vaccine. That they said that once it's approved by the FDA, that's what I'm really waiting for. There were more people who were vaccinated in August than July, but there are still 80 million people who are not vaccinated. And the third piece is, again, the vulnerability of children, of immunocompromised and other to the transmissible.
Even though our staff is fully vaccinated, I might just start testing them daily just for kicks.
Been open to and taking steps that were going to save more lives, protect more people, and that's exactly what yesterday's announcement is a reflection of.
Last question, is he now considering mandating vaccinations to fly domestically?
Please.
We are always looking at more we can do to protect and save lives. Obviously, he made a significant and bold announcement yesterday, so I haven't anything to predict or
do it to fly.
But we'll continue to look for ways to save more lives.
I like that.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. So just to clarify, is the thing that was preventing the president from issuing these mandates earlier, the FDA approval, is that what the White House was waiting for before announcing these mandates?
There's nothing preventing, but I would say obviously our preference would be that the 80 million people who are not vaccinated got the vaccine when it was available. They didn't. So it's our role, and it's the president's role as the president of the United States to continue to take steps to protect the American people and save lives. That's what it's a reflection of.
Follow-up would be if these mandates are necessary given the risk of the Delta variant, given hospitalizations, and ultimately to save lives, as you were saying, why not do this earlier? Why not do it a month ago when hospitalizations were on the rise? This has been a concern for a while.
This has actually been building on the steps.
Biden's terrible both for mandating the vaccines and for not mandating the vaccines soon enough.
Additional step yesterday. There were a number of private sector companies, many we encouraged, who came out and put in place mandates and requirements. This is building on the steps we had taken. But again, there are a range of factors that have happened over the last several months, and it's only natural that we continue to look for more ways to save lives, given we're at the point where clearly we're in the most vaccine-resistant population. And we've also seen, let me just say, we've also seen it works. We've seen companies put in place vaccine requirements. We've seen the impact of those and the number of people at United Airlines, at other companies get vaccinated within the timeline that it's required. And that's something that made sense.
Is the administration considering offering federal funding to states who mandate this at the state level as well?
I don't have anything else to preview or predict for you in terms of additional next steps. Obviously, we made a big, bold announcement yesterday, so I don't have anything new to preview for you. Go ahead.
Considering the critical role of the FDA, why has President Biden not yet nominated an FDA director?
He's eager to find the right person to fill that role. I would note that just like any agency, there are hundreds of people who are career employees, the backbone of the federal government, who are working every day to get the job done. And these agencies certainly continue to function at a high level, even without a director, even if his preference, of course, would be to have a confirmed director in place.
And on another topic, does the White House want to see a debt limit increase in the continuing resolution?
Oh, here we go.
Later this month?
The White House, we continue to believe that Democrats and Republicans should do what they have done 80 times, which is to raise the debt limit, and that is what we are working toward. But I'm not going to get into what vehicle it may look like. That's certainly something we'll have discussions with Congress and congressional leaders, and but we'll leave that to them. Go ahead.
Drilling down on the legal implications or the legal underpinnings of this decision for this OSHA regulation, can you talk about what type of legal analysis happened before the announcement yesterday?
Good question.
Was that done out of the White House Office of Counsel, or was that done in the Labor Department? And also, is part of the reason why there's a testing opt-out, is that because there was a thought that would allow this rule to be better able to stand up to legal scrutiny?
Great question.
So We don't actually anticipate. I mean, this is a law. So Congress passed a law in 1970, the Occupational Safety and Health Act. And the reason the Department of Labor and OSHA is able to take this strong step to protect Americans from COVID is that Congress passed that law. Yesterday's announcement by the Department of Labor is proceeding under that law. And the law basically requires the Department of Labor take action when it finds grave risk to workers. And certainly a pandemic that killed more than 600,000 people qualifies as grave risk to workers. And so if the secretary determines workers are in grave danger, he has an obligation to issue an emergency temporary standard. That's exactly what he did.
So was there an official analysis done or was it just a decision the Department of Labor said?
Clearly, everything we do, we obviously review legally. Every bill we support, every policy announcement we make. But I think that's pretty clear. It doesn't even take a legal degree to understand that.
Just on another topic, the call with President Xi of China. How long was that? And also, did they discuss meeting in person at the G20?
It was about 90 minutes, the call. The president has spent a lot of time with President Xi in the past, as he's talked about publicly, and he drew on that shared experience in this call. So the call was very familiar. It was candid. He didn't avoid areas of disagreement, but the tone was not lecturing, nor was it condescending. It was respectful. It was 90 minutes. I don't have anything to preview for you in terms of future meetings. I would note that this call was about keeping the channels of communication open. And what we've seen is that the importance here is about engaging Xi directly at the leader level due to the centralization of power and the power that's in his hands. Hence, that was the importance of the call. It covered a range of topics. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. After the rule is implemented, do you know how long companies will have to comply?
Great question.
That will be, I believe, part of the rulemaking process. So I expect we'll have more on that once that's completed.
Do you have anything to share about how you landed on employers with 100 employees or more? Why not the entire workforce?
Is that person actually talking? She appears not to be even moving at all.
Of labor, I will say it obviously impacts a huge number of people. So we think it will have an enormous impact on businesses, on companies, on communities, and the workforce. But it was a determination made by the Labor Department.
And then can you talk about the enforcement body, how robust that's going to be, since we're talking about a huge number?
Is that actually who's talking right now?
I know Jeff Zion said the fine could
It's not. I knew it. It's a different Asian reporter. You gotta be kidding me, guys.
Again, these are all good questions.
I knew the voice was Ouija's. And I'm like, this is a different reporter.
To be specific, $13,600 per violation. But this is all a part of what would be determined in the coming weeks.
Clip it, please.
Public health experts, including the former Surgeon General.
That is something, huh? That is something. People were telling me I was wrong.
That the moves to end masking back in May were premature. Do you have a response to that? I'm sorry. And also, in light of that, are there any efforts coming up to talk about masks again? Because the last we heard, it was, it kind of confusing that you only need to do it sometimes if it's high transmissibility, which is now the case, I think, nationwide. So do you have a response?
The president, I don't have a response to the former Surgeon General. I will say that factually, back in May, when we made that announcement, the Delta variant was about 1% of cases. Obviously, things have changed since that period of time. It's incredibly transmissible. And obviously, as we've noted, even as vaccines became widely available to the country, there are still today 80 million people who are not vaccinated. So our responsibility is to continue to take steps that will protect people, save lives. And that's what we're focused on. The president did talk about masks yesterday and fines on airplanes and what would be required in that regard. Also, masking as it relates to schools certainly protects children and kids from transmissibility and the spread of the virus. And what I would say is we do agree it's not just about vaccines. Uh-oh. Okay.
Whoa.
I don't know what's happening.
Technical elements making noise there.
Okay.
I have something to say about
that. Okay, it's okay. No worries. I didn't know if that was a video game or an alarm, or if we should evacuate. Okay.
It's urgent. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. To follow up on the call with President Xi last night, exactly 2 weeks ago when the intel community came up empty trying to figure out the origins of COVID, the president said...
Came up empty.
...information about the origins of this pandemic exists in the People's Republic of China. When he talked to the president of China last night, did he press him like he said he was going to?
Well, I'm not going to go into a list of every topic discussed. That was a very dramatic entry to that answer, but I'll start again. I'm not going to go into every list of every topic discussed. They did discuss a range of transnational issues, including COVID-19, and understanding its origins is, of course, a primary concern for this administration. We continue to support phase 2 of the WHO's investigation in China and call on China to allow further studies of COVID-19's origins in China. I will also note that one of the topics the president's also discussed is the importance of being able to have private discussions between the two leaders. This is in contrast to some of the other interactions we've had at lower levels with the PRC. And so, yes, it was a topic raised, but I'm not going to go into further detail.
So we should understand that to mean that the president did ask him to let international investigators in to get this information that he says China has.
We've conveyed that many times publicly. I think
pretty weak sauce, huh?
Position and view.
But not publicly. On this 90-minute phone call, they talked about
Again, Peter, this is a topic that we have said, conveyed many times at many levels. I'm just not going to have more on the call to read out for you.
Okay, and then why is it that you're trying to require anybody with a job or anybody who goes to school to get the COVID-19 vaccine, but you're not requiring that of migrants that continue walking across the southern border into the country?
Well, look, our objective is to get as many people vaccinated across the country as humanly possible. And so the president's announcement yesterday was an effort to empower...
There's also tens of millions of people in the first category and not that many in the second.
That's exactly what we did. But certainly we want everybody to get vaccinated, and more people are vaccinated, whether they are migrants or whether they are workers, protects more people in the United States.
But it's a requirement for people at a business with more than 100 people. It is not a requirement for migrants at the southern border. Why?
That's correct. Go ahead.
Employers who refuse to implement the vaccine rules are subject to fines. But what about employees who refuse to comply with the requirements? Will federal contractors or employees be fired? And is that the recommendation for private sector employees who don't comply?
Well, again, there needs to be rulemaking that will take place as it relates to the OSHA requirements, and that is the one that applies to private sector companies of individuals 100 people and over. We have our own rules in the federal government, which are applied through different statutes. So yes, you're right. There would be counseling. We are certainly going to take every step to convey the safety and the efficacy of these vaccines to federal employees. But certainly, vaccination is required for contractors and employees, and the president was pretty clear about that yesterday.
Ultimately, people could get fired.
Correct.
And then on another topic, rapid testing. In Europe, rapid tests are cheap, pretty widely available. In the U.S., it still can be expensive and hard to find them. Why is that, and why hasn't the administration been able to address some of those issues before this latest plan rolled out?
Well, I would say we just started to address some of those big issues yesterday because we recognized, as you said, that this was a hindrance for many people. Now, we did take steps to include funding for testing in the American Rescue Plan that has been applied in schools and communities across the country. But what we've seen is an increased interest in rapid tests and at-home tests, and we're being responsive to that as well. And this kind of goes back to the comments of Jerome Adams. I mean, testing is also a component that probably we don't talk about enough, or the world doesn't talk about enough, because it is important and it's a way to make sure people are protected. We know the demand for rapid tests has more than doubled in recent weeks, and so we're also being responsive to that. So it's nearly $2 billion investment in rapid at-home tests, 280 million tests at home.
Do we know what the cost discount is going to be that starts next week that was announced by Biden? I still haven't seen it.
Retailers are going to be selling them. So we tried to take a number of steps, bold steps from the federal government and working with the private sector to make them more rapidly available. Go ahead.
Jen, what does the White House say to those businesses? Some business groups are expressing this concern that this requirement that they either have their employees be vaccinated or that they be tested is ultimately a burden on the businesses. So what does the White House say about that burden? Because it's certainly a costly liability, some say.
Well, the vaccines are free and available to everyone in the country, so that shouldn't be costly or available. Or
given an opt-out. So in other words, if they say they want to do the weekly tests, you couldn't say earlier who would pay for that test. Businesses are saying, how do we get these tests to our employees? What if our employees don't want to pay for it themselves? Do we have to pay for it? What does that cost us at the end of the day?
Guys, it can't be $37 because they're already only $10 each, so the cost can't be $37.
May not decide to do that. That's up to them to decide to do.
So ultimately, the burden's on that business to make that decision or just swallow the cost.
Correct. Most of these businesses can absolutely afford it. And what we're talking about here is saving people's lives and protecting them. I'd also say there are a number of companies that have already applied this, have already put requirements in place. It makes for safer workplaces. It makes people want to come back to the workplace. It makes for healthier and happier employees who know that they are safe when they go to work. And that's a cost as well.
Obviously, testing is cheaper for a place like United. They can afford it more easily than a business that's only 100 people big. That's why I asked.
I understand, but again, vaccines, free, available everywhere in the country. Requiring that is free and shouldn't cost businesses any money.
Understood. Religious exemptions right now. Can you give us a better understanding? How will that work? I know how you said there'll be religious exemptions.
Well, it'll be a whole legal morass,
and the like. How about for mega churches, other religious organizations in this country of more than 100 employees? What right do they have under these yet to be created rules?
Again, the rules are being created, but we have obviously had religious exemptions even for federal employees. I'm sure that will be a factor taken into consideration, but I can't make a prediction of what the final rules will look like.
The intention is, I presume, that if you're a religious organization, you say, hey, we don't want to have to do this in our organization.
Again, this is going to be for OSHA to determine as they're doing the rulemaking and the Department of Labor, so I will not get ahead of that process.
Let me ask you about 9/11 if I can. The president, you said his remarks are going to be coming out in some...
What special carve-outs could we give to the very same megachurches that have been causing more problems this entire pandemic?
In advance of tomorrow, as best you can, what conversations, phone calls he's had with those who may have lost loved ones, with past presidents, with foreign leaders, just as he prepares for his reflections. And then separately, why will he not be delivering remarks of some kind tomorrow?
Well, I would say first, on the second question, the president felt it was important to visit each of these three sites to commemorate the lives lost, the sacrifices made on a day that has impacted millions of people across the country, but certainly many people in those communities. In order to do that, he's attending a ceremony where several other former presidents and prominent officials are going to be hearing the names of those lives that were lost around that period of time. Is in a moment where there's a lengthy speaking program, and then he's going to be laying wreaths to commemorate the lives and honor those whose lives have lost. We're releasing the video today because we want you to hear from him, and he wants the American people to hear from him directly on what 9/11 means to him 20 years later, and so that's why we're doing it in advance of his trip tomorrow.
And then the first part of that question, for the conversations he's had with, has he had conversations with Delawareans, with other Americans who lost loved ones? What have these days leading up to 9/11 looked like for him as he's prepared for these reflections?
I'm happy to check if there's been any conversations that fall into that category. Absolutely. Go ahead.
So we've reported that some members of the cabinet will be meeting to discuss trade issues, including a new probe on allegedly illegal subsidies. Can you confirm that? And how does that meeting dovetail with the call with Xi last night, in which the two leaders talked about preventing competition from turning into conflict? Would a new trade probe be an escalation of hostilities?
Well, first I would say that certainly economic topics were a part of the discussion last night, but they were not a major part of the 90-minute call that the president had with President Xi, and it wasn't a call that was intended to produce final outcomes.
See, this is where I think Psaki is not so good, where she was asked, what I would first, if I were her, right, I would first go at, I can't possibly characterize or speculate about whether something that's not been announced would be an escalation of hostilities, right? I mean, it's like I think that there's an opportunity for her to be a little stronger rather than, well, what I would say to that is, which sounds almost like she's coming up with something, is that I can't speculate about something that hasn't happened.
Why not?
The president believes that Democrats and Republicans in Congress should do what they've done 80 times in the past and raise the debt ceiling. Shouldn't be a political issue. It's something that is about the full faith and credit of the United States government, something that most of the Republicans voted to do 3 times under the last administration, even after $2 trillion in tax cuts that certainly added to the debt, did not subtract from the debt, were passed by these same members. So that continues to be his call.
And just one more question on Afghans. There are 30,000 Afghans at foreign bases in third countries with varying immigration status. Has the administration advised or pressured any of those refugees to accept asylum in countries other than the U.S.? If they want to relocate here and aren't disqualified for visa programs, will they be able to?
Well, there is a process that has been underway for some time. We're very grateful to these countries who have been served as lily pads, as we've called them, to have refugees who are trying to leave Afghanistan, and we couldn't hesitate in getting these individuals who had fought by our side and played a pivotal role over the last 20 years. Many of them will come to the United States. Some of them will go to other third countries. That is part of the process. I don't think that's a pressure, but that's always been part of the plan that we've discussed. There will be many of them who will be eligible for programs in the United States. Some of them may end up in other countries, and that's always been part of the plan. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. A couple questions on the president's announcement yesterday. Business owners are already voicing concerns they aren't able to find applicants for jobs. There are a record 10.9 million job openings. Is the administration at all concerned that this new vaccine mandate that applies to businesses with 100 or more employees will cause further staffing shortages for businesses?
No.
Well, look, I think, one, there are a number of businesses across the country who have already applied these requirements, and they could be a model. Some of them, I understand you may be asking about smaller businesses, but it's for employees of 100 and more. And certainly, when the president made the decision to put in place these policies and to announce them yesterday, he made it based on his number one objective, which is to protect people in this country and save more lives. And he also announced yesterday additional assistance for small businesses. That was a part of his plan, to ensure they have the assistance they need. But 75% of people in this country have been vaccinated, who are eligible have been vaccinated. 25% have not. So that's what our target is. That's what our objective is. No, our goal is not to place undue burden. Our goal is to save lives, and that's what we hope this will do.
And then to go on from a colleague's earlier question about rapid tests, which the president mentioned yesterday, he's going to be using the Defense Production Act to add roughly 280 million of these rapid at-home tests.
They are talking about rapid tests, not PCRs, as far as I understand.
Less than 1 kit per person in the country. So what else can be done to ramp up those tests and to bring down the potentially prohibitive cost of these tests if they're going to be used on a regular basis?
Well, one of the steps we took was to work with big private sector retailers to make these tests available, and certainly that is planned for the next 3 months, where we expect there will be a great need, but we will continue to look as there are needs to make sure people in the country have the resources they need. This is not the end, but this is certainly a significant announcement yesterday. Go ahead.
Is there a goal for how many at-home rapid tests should be available beyond the 280?
Again, I think announcing the numbers we had.
The other thing is most people have no interest in buying rapid tests at home. Like, if you've not been wearing a mask and you're not vaccinated, you're not interested in testing people. I mentioned I went to a birthday a couple weeks ago with 12 people. Everybody was tested on the way in. Everybody was also vaccinated. Everybody also has been doing everything. I don't think there's going to be the demand that they're implying, where if you have 280 million, every person will be able to get one.
China is willing to play an active role at the upcoming COP summit about climate.
I'm not going to speak for what their intentions are at the COP summit, of course. I would note that, of course, climate around, as well as a number of topics were discussed, and the COP summit is the next big moment for the international community on that front. And certainly human rights were part of the discussion, and the president did raise them, as he always does in these engagements. Go ahead.
A question about wildfires. The president's traveling to Idaho and California to survey wildfire damage. When he had his meeting with the Western governors earlier this year, Governor Newsom and others voiced frustration with the U.S. Forest Service, accused them of having a wait-and-see culture. Is the president announcing any policy changes, any new developments on strategy to wildfires when he's out there?
You'll have to wait and see.
And a question on just the backlash from state attorneys general. Can you expand on why the 1970 law does cover specifically these requirements for businesses?
Sure. Let me try it again. So the 1970 law, which has now been in place, to do the math for all of you, for 51 years. It's a law that requires, let me give you the exact statement of it here.
Right.
It requires the Department of Labor to take action when it finds grave risk to workers, and certainly a pandemic that has killed more than 600,000 people, where 25% of eligible people who are have not yet been vaccinated poses a grave risk. And so this, what Department of Labor was proceeding under that duly enacted law. It actually determines the secretary has an obligation, I should say, to issue an emergency temporary standard when it meets that bar. So that is the background on that, or the information on that. Go ahead.
Will the administration consider revisiting federal emergency unemployment benefits as Delta continues to impact the job market?
Well, we've talked about this a little bit in here in the past, and just to note, about half of the states that had been...
So the backstory is, yesterday, the enhanced unemployment and 3 other programs all ended, but 26 states had already ended them ahead of time. Yesterday was the federal end.
Quite a range. So point is, they have different needs. And what we've been doing has been working with leaders in these states, governors, other leaders, to figure out how funding from the American Rescue Plan, state and local funding and other funding, can be used to apply for specific categories of benefits should they feel those benefits are needed. But we haven't seen actually the issue in the economy, which still has issues that we're still recovering from, to be an employment issue. There are other issues that we're working to address in the economy.
States, and the majority of the states that did stop the aid early, there wasn't any sign that it actually impacted employment rates. So, I mean, is there no additional steps that the White House wants to take? Do they want to see Congress take action on that? Or, I mean, how else do you expect to maybe help governors or push governors who decide that they don't want to use that aid that's been provided federally for unemployment benefits?
That is aid that's available, and as governors decide, as we work with governors to determine how to help people in the states who still need help, which is imperative, and one of the reasons why the American Rescue Plan was designed in the way it was so that the child tax credit and other programs are going out in the months ahead and into next year. So the point is that there is state and local funding that can be used. We're working with these states to implement that funding. If your unemployment rate is 3%, you have different needs than if your unemployment rate is 7 or 8%. So that's the point I was making as it relates to how we apply these programs. Go ahead.
The administration obviously believes that more requirements are necessary to get more people vaccinated. But of the 80 million people who are not yet gotten their first shot, what amount does the administration assess are still persuadable, and what amount do you think actually need the force of government to make them do it?
Well, that's a hard question to assess from here. I will say clearly we felt that putting in place additional steps and requirements was essential to get more of the 80 million people vaccinated. I can't tell you how many of...
Guys, I can't tell you how many people are getting banned on Twitch and YouTube, people that have been following for 10 or 15 minutes and just showing up and immediately just filling our live chat with just bottom-feeding garbage.
Persuaded at this point.
Well, at this point, it's really hard to give a number on that, right? And I don't want to irresponsibly guess at that from here. But at this point, the vaccines have been widely available across the country for months, in communities across the country for months. We have mobile clinics. We've done it in many different ways in communities. So we're assessing that some of these requirements are the next lever needed to get more people vaccinated and ultimately protect more people in the country.
Just to clarify something you said earlier, the president's not making remarks tomorrow. He's releasing a video ahead of time.
Correct.
What you're saying. So he's not giving a speech in any of the 3 locations.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. Patsy, go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. A couple of foreign policy questions. The first one, the Taliban and the Qataris are insisting that flights out of Afghanistan are no longer evacuations, but kind of business as usual for travelers with documentation. I've noticed that Emily Horn's statement on the flights that came out today as well as yesterday did also not use the word evacuation. So can you confirm whether the administration is still considering and treating these flights out of Afghanistan as evacuations?
We're considering them people departing who want to depart of Afghanistan. I'm not sure that the word matters.
The second one is on the Israeli Prime Minister, who is calling on the international community to act quickly and immediately against Iran following an IAEA report that Tehran has dramatically increased production of uranium, highly enriched uranium, in recent months. Do you have a comment on that?
I will get you a comment from our national security team.
Taiwan. Is the administration seriously considering a request from Taiwan to change the name of its mission in Washington from Taipei Economic and Cultural Representative Office to Taiwan Representative Office?
I would have to check with our team on this issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, two questions. One on Afghanistan, one on vaccinations, if I could. On Afghanistan, I'm curious if there have been any offers of resignation from anyone in the chain of command or anyone involved in the decisions with the...
She will never answer that.
No.
If the answer was yes, I mean.
Confidence in those.
Yes.
If there were offers that Biden said you don't need to resign, she would never answer that.
The president's second shot was in January. If you follow that logic, 8 months afterwards, you're supposed to get the booster. That would have been last month for the president. Has the president gotten the booster? Is he going to get the booster?
He's not gotten it yet. We'll wait till it's widely available, which we expect to be soon. Go ahead.
Jen, I'm hearing that the Bureau of Prisons issued a memo today telling approximately about 1,000 drug offenders how to apply for clemency. Do you have anything on that?
I would certainly point you to the Department of Justice. I would say that the president has been clear about his openness to using clemency powers, but I wouldn't say that's an assessment of decisions made, and certainly targeting those toward nonviolent drug offenders. But I'd point you to the Department of Justice for any further details.
A follow-up on the mandates. With companies like Delta now having a $200 premium that they're going to add to the insurance premiums, how does the president feel about companies trying to persuade people to get vaccines by doing that?
Well, there are a range of ways we've recommended companies try to incentivize people get vaccinated, including mandating them, including putting in place requirements, and many have taken creative steps. So there's a range of ways to look at. That's not one we've advocated for, but obviously different companies will make different choices. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. Not to try to shame any vaccine skeptics. In Africa, people are looking for vaccine, but they can't find them. In the US, there is an abundance of vaccine, but up to 80 million people have refused to receive them. And 1,500 people are dying every day. Will you say that too much privilege is sending so many Americans to their early grave?
I'm not sure what your question is.
Is too much privilege sending many people to their early grave?
Well, I would say first that the United States wants to be an arsenal of vaccine distribution to the goal.
She misunderstood the question.
More than every other country in the world combined.
She seems to be answering what she thinks the question was, which is, shouldn't you send the vaccines to other countries? He was saying, is privilege killing people?
The steps that we announced yesterday, we need to do both.
Yeah, no. So I was asking, is too much privilege killing people in the US? Like, there's so much vaccine available here, but people are refusing to take them. While in Africa, people don't even have access to vaccine, and they want to have them. Are we
all right? Let's see.
Privileged here to the extent that we are ready to die instead of taking the vaccine?
Well, I think that's a hard question. I don't know that I have a comment on that from the U.S. government. I would say that our objective here is to convey to people, not in a political way, whenever we can avoid it, that...
I like that guy. I've not noticed that guy in the press briefing room before. I like him.
And they'll save your neighbors, your friends, your grandparents, and that's our objective. Okay, I think I got to keep going here. Oh, no, I got to keep going. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Could you confirm that there's going to be an in-person cause summit in Washington, D.C. on September 24th?
An in-person, I'm sorry? Sorry, I couldn't. The masks are hard sometimes, and they're important. I will have more details. I don't have anything to announce at this point in time.
Mention of Taiwan during the phone call with President Xi Jinping.
I'm not. I'd have to check, but I don't have anything on that in the readout. Go ahead, Mike.
Jen, obviously Congress has a lot on its plate next week, but we're also going to see the beginning of oversight hearings. Secretary of State Tony Blinken will be the first up as part of the different committees looking into the Afghanistan decision and fallout. What role is the White House playing in terms of preparations for these hearings, and might we expect any White House officials to be part of public hearings on Capitol Hill next week?
Well, we've been cooperating, working with Congress, briefing them regularly throughout the course of the last several weeks, and that will continue. And we'll certainly continue to provide officials as appropriate moving forward. As it relates to preparations, I'd certainly point you to the State Department.
And we're still a week away, but Capitol Police is reinstalling some of the perimeter fencing around the Capitol in advance of these Justice for J6 protests, demonstrations that are expected. How closely is the White House monitoring these, not just in Washington, but across the country? And have any White House officials expressed interest or concern about maybe reinstalling some of the fencing we saw around the White House grounds in January?
Well, we're always going to assess what security measures need to be put in place, but we typically don't preview them, and I'm not going to do that from here. Obviously, the Capitol and leadership in Congress takes their own steps, and we certainly trust them to make decisions about how to protect the members of their caucuses. Shelley?
Thanks. Just two quick ones for you. Does the administration consider this latest vaccine mandate for private sector companies to be a workaround for the federal government to require vaccines?
No?
Meaning to require them for the American people? Well, this is a tool, a step that, again, there's legal authority for based on a 50-year-old law, and one that we took action on because the president wanted to use every lever at his disposal to protect more people and save more lives. But no, it's not, we don't have the ability to tell every American you have to be vaccinated. There's a means of encouraging it, of mandating it through certain pathways, and that's exactly what we've done. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Jen.
Wow, an abrupt end to a 2-hour late press briefing. Okay, well, a lot of people banned today. We're just dropping ban hammers. It's just like we're just having to play whack-a-mole with people. It's crazy. We're just everywhere, banning. Really appreciate everybody who joined me today. And there will be more streams. There will be more of everything. All right. We'll see everybody very soon.